And we're live on Fun Frolicking Friday.
Yay! Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fun Frolicking Friday. I am Candace here in New Hampshire, and that is Karezza somewhere on a beach. Um, and we got a new fun furry friend, Mr. Bobby. Um, so welcome. I'm happy you're here. And today we are going to be dropping into different levels of play and creativity and imagination, both for your own life with yourself in everyday life, as well as in your romantic, sensual, or sexual affairs with others and with yourself. And really also like restoring the innocence of our sexuality and opening up to that childlike wonder. Um, yeah, so I'm really excited. I have some games and different implements I want to introduce you to, as does Karezza.
Yes.
Been exploring these arts for about 8 years now and have discovered, the importance of creativity and imagination. And all my clients that come to me, it's kind of one of the commonalities is they're looking for something different. They're done with the same vanilla thing.
Mhm.
They're looking for that like fun and lightness and to not be judged. Um, yeah, so I'm happy to talk about this, as I know is Karezza, and the show is also created
Definitely.
for you. So please do chime in with us if you have things that are coming up for you as you're listening or questions you have around the topic. Yeah, so Karezza, tell me about you.
Yeah, definitely. Hi, everyone. I'm Karezza. I'm an eco-conscious play, sex and intimacy coach, and I help singles and couples expand and evolve through play. And also education of the body, and the basics, the fundamentals of sexuality that we didn't yet find or get from our schooling, in high school or middle school, and as well as be using or our orgasm, our pleasure, and expanding it into a more spherical, more expansive, everyday experience.
Mm, mm. Yeah, it made me, as you're saying that, and I'm looking at cat
Oh, everything's fine. Yeah.
here. Am I still here?
Yes.
Yay!
Yes.
Sorry. Okay. I was thinking of like, so sexual energy, the way I think of it, is like creative energy. It creates life. It's what we all come from. Um, and so like I feel like and it, not everybody would understand this, but I have a sexual relationship with this creature here. And it's not because we do anything together in like that way. It's the way he has ignited me and just helped me feel comforted and safe and
Mhm.
loved. Um, it's yeah, it's so sweet. Um, and then the other element of, what cats I feel like teach us is a lot about sensuality, a lot about letting go and
Yeah.
receiving. And then some cats teach us a lot about boundaries and saying no when you don't want it. um, so I feel like that's, we have so much to learn, and it's sad we did not learn. And the things that we did learn often uh, take away the innocence and the creativity and the fun factor of our bodies, of life, of relating to other people and ourselves, and life as a whole. To, yeah, sometimes I may call it spirit, sometimes I call it God, nature, whatever it is. I think it all comes back to sex.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, so I definitely want to hear, from others. What
Yeah.
are some of the things that you have heard of around sexuality, creativity, play, sensuality that you're curious about, or any questions you have? Um, and yeah, yeah. I brought a few things that I wanted to share and talk about. Um, so there's so many elements of play. There's playful and innocent, and there's kink and BDSM, which
Yeah.
some may not see as playful and innocent. Um, for me, I see the emotional, psychological need behind what one's fetishes or desires are. So, as just a prime, simple example, a lot of people that hold a lot of power need to be in submissive places sometimes. They
Yeah.
crave because they just need to let go. They don't want to have to make decisions or think, or
Definitely.
and so to me, that's not just sexual, that's really emotional. That's really like getting down to the core of our basic human needs, and the restoration of balance and harmonization of our entire lives. I know for me, I definitely I tend to be more dominant and in charge. And so I crave, like, oh, I just want to let go sometimes,
Yeah.
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 Love.
And I think, at the moment, I've been really diving into what it means to be ravished, and that what we're seeing with men is that they're, with the patriarchy and the Me Too movement, men have kind of pulled back from using their masculine dominance as a positive and being in touch with it, and turning more into this nice guy, because if I do something a bit more rough, it's going to be looked at as not okay. Where now a lot of women are asking more for that. I think it's one of the top fantasies for a lot of women to be, fucked on the counter, or, like taken, like a caveman would, like, I don't, like a caveman taking a woman like over his shoulder and throwing her on the bed, which is not, there's nothing wrong with that. And I think, but through culture and history, it's always been seen as something negative, like almost like animal like, but nothing deeper, nothing, just very physical. But actually, when you go into those moments, it can be as deep as going into tantra or doing yab yum or looking at each other and not moving. So it's really the intention that you put in, and the connection and the touch and the eyes and all of it, all the sensations, everything in that moment, and just really releasing. And if something does come up, and letting go, that you have the power to say no, or no, I don't like that, or discuss it beforehand or whatnot. So there's always a choice, and there's always a voice in it.
Yeah, yeah. There's definitely Paul Sterling of Love Coach Academy, another fellow coach, has some amazing shows online too. He always talks about this very topic of,
Yeah.
the it's like we went into this place of, women becoming more powerful and men pulling back.
Yeah.
And so there's a degree of it where, like, yeah, we want, like, I feel like balance,
Yeah.
like, yes, emotion, yes, being in tune. It's not like, mm, yeah, it's definitely, there's been this uh
Demasculine. Yeah.
demasculinating thing that's happened. And I get it. I
Yeah.
totally get it. None of us were educated. It's not, we all are, you know, unless you grew up in a home where your parents were sex educators or something, like, you
Yeah.
probably had no clue what to do,
Yeah.
like, that's
Exactly.
just the reality. So no right, no wrong. That's why it's like I'm such a advocate for education sexually,
Mhm.
and the whole sex industry. I feel like the entire sex industry can be seen as educational. Um, and learning about emotionality, though, and understanding one another. One other thing you
Yeah.
said, when you said, like we want, like an animal, that primal thing,
Yeah.
and I was like laughing. It's like, we are animals. Like,
True.
we're barbarians. We're animals. Okay. Like, we really, yeah, we've evolved, but
Yes.
it's in our DNA. It is in our DNA to just be like, in whatever way that looks. Maybe that's a playful, fun way. You're just, in essence, you're kind of losing yourself. You're letting go of the attachments to everything going on. Like when Karezza throws that ball. I mean, if you witness that, like, she is totally in throwing that ball. That
Yeah.
is like meditation. That is like orgasm. That is like, really harnessing the moment,
Yeah.
harnessing whatever it is you're doing and trying to enjoy the fuck out of it. How much pleasure can we get out of life? How much fun can we have, single or with
Mhm.
others? You know,
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah. And I think when we play, we get into a different side of ourselves. So from this, like, working in the corporate world or being a boss or a CEO or manager where you have to be, dominant or just in charge all the time, it's really going into another archetype, going into another part of yourself that we're made up of. It's not just we're this, like, head honcho of a corporation and that's it. We have so many parts of ourselves that we don't even yet know about still. And this path of life or conscious sexuality, whatnot, that we're on, takes us into so many of these beautiful areas that, if we're not aware of that, we miss out. And maybe by, also our programming, also our morals, our religion, maybe being brought up with, kind of, it does not let us get into the creative and the more expansive energies or places where we can go to
Mhm.
throughout life.
Yeah. Yeah. We need play. We so need play. Um, uh, So a couple things that I brought, I wanted to show you, but we're also going to introduce you to practices where you don't need to go out and get anything. You don't have to have all
No.
this cool stuff. You know what I mean? You can, it's so easy to be creative and fun. Um, this right here, so it may look scary,
Yeah.
just looking at it, right? But
Yeah.
the reality of this right here, this only creates just so, you can drag it slowly. It could be slow and sensual. And even when, like whips, wands, and wigs, even when you whip it only produces like a sting.
Wow.
Yes, there are other tools that can be, more painful. Um, but pain can be pleasure to many.
Yeah.
Um, Pain is it sends it's another release. It's it's another form of getting into the body and getting out of the head. Like when you are
Mm.
like smacked on the butt, like you are not thinking about anything else. Then that's like, come on, like you are just like, whoa, that just happened. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, so now you take like a little spanking and you imagine amping that up with different things like whips and implementations. Like this one too can be used sensually and softly, but this one can produce a little bit more sensation that could be considered pain. But to some, this is nothing. This is just nothing. They like a lot of pain. And I feel like that's when you really need to get into your body and out of your head.
Yeah.
So I it just reminds me, which this is a little, deep and intense, but as a teen, when all of a sudden I started feeling things and uh a lot of pain, and like when you're a child and like I experienced a lot of trauma, you don't know it's so, like you're just like, oh, la, 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 everything's innocent, everything's
Yeah.
fine, and there was a lot of bad stuff happening in my life that was not cool. It wasn't until I was 14 like everything hit. And before I got into drugs and alcohol, I used to cut. I didn't cut to attempt to cross over. It was just to get like to feel something different than what I
Mm.
was feeling. I needed the pain.
Yeah.
Um, that was like so that's like one of those prime examples of, why, pain exploration and pain play is really emotional stimulation and healing. So, yeah, it's not everybody sees it that way. And some people just, they keep their emotions over here and their healing and spiritual life over here and their sex
Yeah.
life is over here. And if that's
Mhm.
what works for you, cool. For me, it's all, I love
Yeah.
putting it all together. Yeah.
I always like to say sex is life and life is sex. And
Mhm.
there's no difference between the two because it's where we come from. If we didn't have sex, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
And when we get into our sex energy, we get into our creative energy as well. So maybe if you are into your body and more sexual, even as a single, as a couple, it doesn't matter. That maybe there's more tendency to be a musician, to be an artist, to be more in the flow of using colors and different art and different, just all different kinds of things in the art world and the creative world,
Mm,
um, and start producing and start creating
yeah.
ideas. That's what I find. I mean, the more that you're in that like orgasmic life and bringing that energy up, not just through your yoni, but through your entire being, it's like you have so much to give and so much to do and create, and you're on all the time. You're in abundance, essentially.
And you think about the term turned on. Like, why wouldn't you want to live turned on? You want to be off? No, I want to be lit all day, all the time. And I definitely witnessed, like, when I'm having, it's like when I was doing events, I had lots of opportunity for lots of creative play and exploration. And that also, like, I was able to just recycle that and put that into the events. Like, my creative juices were just flowing, just even through witnessing other people and holding space for other people, and their creative exploration. It just, like, I had so much creative energy. There's definitely, like, a strong linkage between those two things. In, like, your business, like if you have a business or you are an artist of some sort, you will notice you're able to really tune in to creating more for your business, or creating more art, when you're feeling turned on, sexy, alive. I feel like it's like being fed and nourished.
Yeah.
And what time is it? Is anybody any questions, or what's going on out there? Quiet today?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would love for, well, first, what time is it?
It's it's almost 1:30.
Okay, cool. So I want to introduce this little exercise, and then we're gonna do a little exercise. And and then I definitely would love for you to chime in about your knowledge with the different toys, and being safe and eco-friendly. So there is a sorry, I'm laughing because when I was introduced to this exercise, I was in a relationship with someone who I was the second person they'd ever been with. They had no experience. This was like totally, so this exercise was so helpful because it's so simple. It's so easy. It's so innocent. So, you just go around your house, grab 10 different things, like literally anything. Like, the two things that I remember that felt amazing on my body, one was just a Kleenex tissue, and one was a watch. And so, you could take just anything, and you don't tell the person what it is, afterwards you get to show. And like, I was like, because like the Kleenex, like I remember like going out of my mind for it. And then so when I found out it was just the Kleenex, I'm like, really? Like, it's that easy? And another thing that happened for me during that, so when he ran the watch over my heart, I went back to so I had open heart surgery when I was a baby. And for some reason, like, I felt like I was getting surgery. Like, it triggered that body awareness at that time in my life when I was 1 year old and getting open heart surgery. The clinking of the cold metal. It was like cold metal and clinking. I remember it was like really interesting. That's the thing, like when you're in that open space, like you're dropping into your essence, what you came from. There's a lot of healing that just happens. You don't even have to try. Like, it just happens because you said yes to you and your life and your body, then your body and your life says yes to you back. It just reverberates.
And I also think through these games, like you're suggesting now, we have the ability, if you know, playing is being in the moment, but also being in the moment helps us heal. I strongly feel that play can go into the deepest dark places in us and bring it up, because when we play, we are at peace and we are more relaxed and more aware of what's going on right now, that it may start to shift energies or unblock some things or bring stuff up that maybe we weren't ready to talk about. And now, because we're older, because we've dealt with hardships, that okay, now it's time to grow and evolve more, and to take care of these issues as well, even though it's hard.
I generally have a lot of emotional release, you know. It's like I definitely cry and laugh often when I'm deep in play spaces and deeply in my body. Yeah. So one of the other simple things that is fun to play with is body painting or coloring. Like you can get so many different kinds. Like in this bag, I have several different kinds of body paint, body art, body markers. And some of them, you know, it's just different sensations. Like, well, this one's henna, so it's going to last longer too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, yeah. You can get henna ones. I don't know what this one is, but I think it's the one I want to use. This one is like squishy.
Yeah.
So, you know, this is something I do with myself often. It's both sensual, creative, meditative, and healing. It's like we are infusing our body with what we want, or what we see. So I often let me see. I'm gonna put some of this. My blind ass is gonna make a mess. Did I get it? I got it. Okay. Da, 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 da. The kitty's like, what are you doing? Don't get that on me. So sometimes with the markers, I'll write, like the other day, I'm going through a lot around my body and my womb and my femininity.
Yeah.
And I just wrote all sorts of words on my belly that I just wanted to infuse in there. Sexy, beautiful, you know, all that yummy stuff. If you're not blind like me, I mean, you can really write a lot of cool things or color. And so with this mushy stuff, I just kind of like to feel the sensation. Like it's like I'm right now I'm doing my fingers in like the shape of a heart. I'm imagining I'm just kind of I love like painting my heart open is the way I see it and feel it. And also feeling my own skin and like taking the time to notice, wow, I have this beautiful like depth right here in the center of my chest. And you go over here and you can start feeling it rise, and the texture of the skin starts to get a little bit more supple at the top of my breast. And you go up, and I have like this deep little pocket in my neck. And it's just, it's like taking the time to appreciate my own body and love my own body. And be creative. When I do this, like sometimes I'll make a video or I'll send a picture to someone and turn myself into a human card.
How cool.
Yeah. Now I lost the cap to this though.
Well, this
Uh-oh.
I just thought of a great idea as well. What about like with paint? If you even as a single or as a couple, you can probably get all the paints on like a canvas, and you put your naked bodies on, and you could actually create your own art, your naked art.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
so cool.
And they
That's
actually
awesome.
have researched this because I wanted to do a party and just have a wall be
Yeah.
everybody's naked bodies. They have like, you want to get, if you're going to be involving your genitals, you
Yeah.
definitely want to get body safe paint. And there
Oh
is
yeah.
some out there.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, but if you don't involve them, you could play with something by Crayola,
Yeah. Yeah.
and yeah, whether it be canvas or I've done this before. It's really, really fun and creative and playful. I definitely, when I play with paint and stuff like this, I definitely feel so tuned into my inner child, like so
Yeah.
innocent. It's just like, and that innocence
Mm.
creates a level of safety for my body to open up more, to share more,
Yeah.
to release more, to give more. It's yeah. If our inner child doesn't feel safe, I
Yeah.
don't think we're going to open too much. Like we're going to have walls and boundaries,
Mm.
which are
Mhm.
fine. Walls and boundaries are great. Like, hey, I could play with you, but I can only play with you this far. Like I mean, reserved for me, when it comes to intercourse or oral, it's like I'm non-monogamous, but those two things, I'm very like more about primary dynamics.
Yeah.
Um, and like I have serious emotional needs with those things, and I have like stipulations. So, but that doesn't mean I can't play with people and enjoy my body and enjoy other people.
Sure.
I just only go so far with certain people.
Mm. And I think when we get into our innocent, childlike part of ourselves, we never stop exploring. We're always, looking at things spherically and not just in one direction or one dimension. We're looking at things from all sides. And I think that creates an even more whole person and an expansive person, because sometimes we stop because we're an adult and we're supposed to be adulting, as they say, adulting, and that we have to pay the bills, we have to find this, we have to find a real job and work full time, not part time, and you have to have money to do all these things, and health insurance and car insurance and all these bills and things that are for adults, that sometimes you lose that like explorative, perspective on life, that it's every day can be something different if you just open your mind and open your energy to that direction of things. And it not only in that, but in sexuality, to be childlike in sexuality is to be able to play, to dress up, to add toys, to add this, to add that, and really flow in it. And it doesn't mean that, I mean, you can do everything that you want, but also having boundaries and knowing what your limits are. It's not like a free for all that, you know, because sometimes we think we have to be open to every single thing, and then we get hurt in the process. So there's definitely boundaries to take into consideration as well. So
Don't say yes when your whole body is telling
yeah,
you no.
and
Okay.
maybe as well.
Yeah, maybe is a no.
Yeah,
No for now, at least, until you're a yes. Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
And yeah, as you were sharing about the adulting piece, like I could
Yeah.
feel my whole body tense up,
Yeah.
just listening,
Yeah.
and yeah, we need to do that. But yeah, we need play, we need relaxation. We're whole beings. We're human beings, not human doings.
Yeah.
And there's a lot we have to do. But what
Yeah.
about just being? What about who we are?
Yeah.
Versus what we do. How
Mm-hmm.
about how we feel? How about what we
Mm-hmm.
want? Like, there's so many things that get lost
Yeah.
um, in chronic adulting.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. So, I'd love you to talk and tell us a little bit about your knowledge of the different toys and safe and unsafe kind of products.
Yes, definitely. So I've been in the process of creating my eco-friendly erotic Play-Doh based off of like GAC and doughs that we've played in our childhood. What I find, so many people like to go to like the hardware store to get stuff to play with for sex, but I actually go to the toy store because it allows me to be so creative and take these childlike wonder of play and sense and touch and like all these different zones and actually turn them into adult games. So like that, I've created erotic Play-Doh, which I produce with organic essential oils that actually stimulate men and women to get into their erotic juiciness, stimulation, sensuality, and there's actually different oils for both men and women that I found that was quite interesting when creating this Play-Doh as well. But really what's important here and that is that, you have to be conscious of what you're buying when you look at when you're getting something for your body, like sex toys, vibrators, dildos, whips, chains, I don't know, whatever you're into. Because some of them have harmful chemicals or plastics and contain phtalates. Usually when it says PBA free, it's without phthalate, which is a great thing. And not only that, it harms the earth if we don't recycle sex toys properly.
Mm.
So again, it's important to be aware of what you're doing, putting inside your body, because it can affect you in the long run. Maybe not this minute, but over time, it could create cancer, disease, illnesses, or at least attribute to it. Or allergies, just sensitivities, rashes. Nobody wants to get like infections in their yoni or lingam, just from using and chemical induced products. So it's really, I love the fact that people are creating these products and putting them on the market. I even found a vibrator, an eco-friendly vibrator that you can build your own vibrator. Amazing, amazing, amazing stuff, because it allows you to explore in the site, like this experimental, like what is behind the vibrator? How is it made? How is it produced? How is it programmed? You actually get to program it yourself and see how, like, the inner workings of a vibrator. Like, who doesn't love that?
Huh.
I mean, it's like there's so much like great, fantastic sex tech out there. And, being aware of how it's produced and where it's from, and, the plastics and different, the toxicity of things sometimes it's important to be aware before we play and before we purchase, so we don't affect ourselves, our partner, and the world at large.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a moment where I just laughed because I was getting memories of some experiences I had when I didn't have these awarenesses that were
Sure.
funny, but not fun,
Yeah.
Yeah, like definitely like what I've learned thus far, like silicone is good, glass, there's some metals. They even have different wands made out of crystal. You don't
Oh,
want to
yeah.
just pick
Yeah.
any crystal. You
Yeah.
want to make sure it's, it's safe.
Um,
Yeah, there's some really, really awesome stuff.
and also, like, even with the whips, they have like recycled leather or vegan leather,
Yeah.
for people that are, they don't want to kill cows or use animal products. So it's important to look at the labels and research before you buy.
Mhm.
It may be a little bit more expensive, but the quality affects not just you, but the world.
Mhm.
So, you have to weigh the pros and the cons there, and
Yeah.
what's important and what isn't.
It's definitely worth it to pay more. I
Right.
know that's, I definitely, yeah. In the past, I used price as a thing, but
Yeah, it's tough.
no,
It's
no,
tough.
yeah, my body's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I don't know if I told you this. I actually even make my own flax seed lubricant.
I think you did tell me once. Tell us.
But it's interesting. I mean, it's like, it's so easy. It's an all 100% organic flaxseed lubricant. It's The thing is, though, when you use condoms, it breaks the condom down. So it's really for people that don't use protection, or maybe for short things with a condom. But to be aware of that is important as well, that it does break down latex. So, but it actually, flaxseed helps the skin, and it soothes the skin. It helps each other. So by creating or having like these, like a flaxseed lubricant, it helps both of you. So it's understanding that, okay, we're going to use this, and it's not going to harm each other. It's not just about me, it's about both of us. So think about, or condoms that are made with, special latex, or more natural latex with like organic ointment, or not, non or organic spermicide, or things on it that doesn't smell. I mean, and doesn't cause, because some of these things that you buy, condoms, can actually irritate the yoni during penetration, because of what's in it, the spermicide, or just icky chemicals. If you read the box, that's just not good, and it could cause infections again. So I kind of look at it like, okay, there's only 3 ingredients and making this lubricant, and I'm helping not just myself, I'm helping my partner as well, because it could affect him or whomever you're with. Like, you have to think that, okay, maybe it's cheaper to buy these condoms, but in the end, it's going to hurt my partner. So you really have to keep that in mind when you're in a couple, or even a one night stand, or whatever you do, that, there are consequences to buying cheap things.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Disastrous consequences. Very not fun and painful consequences.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not worth it. Shut up. Yeah, yeah. Be safe. Like, you can play and have fun and be safe.
Yeah.
even like, we said, there's that game. You don't even have to buy anything. There's
No.
so many ways to play. And I think the other thing for well, I would say it's different for, male bodies versus female bodies,
Oh yeah.
genitals, like as the needs go. Um, when it comes to using vibratory things, they're great. You definitely want to be conscious because it can overstimulate and
Yeah.
essentially desensitize.
Yeah.
So if you are using something like that, you almost want to like, you don't want to get addicted to it. You want to have to go through so you want to space it out. Like, okay, we did that for a few days. So these few days we're using our hands, okay?
Yes.
Just try to make sure you can still enjoy your body, just your natural body.
And and the point of the body, don't just reach for the vagina and the penis. Like, honestly, don't start there. You have to explore the entire being from head to toe. And I think, in my experience anyway, it all automatically just goes to the breasts or the vagina, and it's just completely against what I'm about. So, it's important to communicate if you're dating or not yet in a relationship or just starting to get, intimate, that to have these conversations before you even touch or make out, because not every woman, not every man is the same. We have our histories, we have our traumas, we have our different perceptions, different triggers. And it's just, you have to be aware of that. You can't just do what you feel is right for you. It's about what the other person wants as well. And if they can stand up and say what they want, that's, a conscious, empowered woman. So, yeah.
Yeah. We want to really. What was it? Oh, sorry. The cat just made this weird noise, and I thought it was coming from you. Definitely. So, a lot of us have trauma, and sexuality can bring up stuff, even if it's not sexual trauma. So really getting to know one another and stuff like that is really, really important. He's letting out these little cute snory meow sounds.
I can't hear
it. He snores. It's
so cute.
Yeah. Where are we?
It's about 50 minutes.
Perfect. So even if you guys are tuning into this show and the replay or later, or you're catching it on YouTube or somewhere else, if you have any questions, comments, feel free to chime in, or, if you want to make sure we get it, then reach out to us. You can find us pretty easily. Our information is all on there. And we love helping. We love, if sometimes we just need a little guidance and a little support, like somebody to spark that fire of creativity. And as we mentioned, we don't know, we're not taught. And I'm really looking forward to. Karezza and myself are working on some videos
Oh yeah.
for you to play with yourself and or with others. Different guided, playful exercises.
Yeah.
We did one the other day that was great, but we're gonna do a take two. We're having technical
Yeah.
difficulties. But we're having fun either way, and we're dropping into our creative energy. And just like we were saying earlier, like you and I aren't physically engaging with one another, but
Yeah.
we have a sexual relationship in essence of talking about it and playing within it and
Yeah.
doing it for others, helping others.
Yeah.
um, and these are the kinds of conversations and stuff that I can't always find. um but that's why it's like I feel like it's so important, like even finding friends that you can be all of you with,
Yeah.
um even
Mm.
if you don't
Mm.
have a partner. um
Mhm.
yeah, you need to have someone you could talk about this stuff with.
I
Is
agree.
so important.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, like
Mm.
doing these videos and connecting with you and all the stuff we've done. There's been so many times where it like I'd be like in a down spot and then we do something together and boom, my energy's
Yeah.
changing, you know?
It's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We play. It's just
Yay.
virtual,
So
but
much
it's still that
fun.
powerful.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's the summer. It was just the first day of summer.
When?
The 21st. It
Oh.
was the summer solstice.
Ah.
So
Yeah, I
it's
kept hearing people talk about it, and I've been missing. I haven't been getting my moon, and I've been missing all the moon stuff for some reason. That is really interesting. That is
uh,
so interesting. I'm usually so in tune with the moon and knowing what's going on, and I've been
oh
so
wow.
yeah, yeah. Grr, I gotta figure this out.
Okay.
So, yay! Happy summer! Here,
Yay.
it's actually a chilly day, but it seems like it's warm where you
It
are.
is.
Yeah.
It's not so warm, but I just wanted to get my beach ball again because I'm really having fun with it to
Do
end
you
the
have your
show.
palm tree too?
What is it?
Do you have your palm tree too?
It's here and the flamingo.
Aww. Yay! That's so awesome. We
It's
were having some
fun.
technical difficulties before the show,
I
and it was
know.
so cute. I got to listen to Karezza and her mom trying to help her get her play set all set up again. Like,
Yeah.
what a good mom, you know?
I know.
Yeah, that was sweet.
Aw,
So
I
sweet.
know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Any other closing statements, things you feel like we need to drop in on?
No, I would just say, never lose your childlike innocence. And just live, you can live till the age of 90 or 100 and still have your play and still be playful and innocent and childlike. And that's what I hope to instill in my own family and my own future partner, committed partners, that, we can play, we can play more than be upset and angry and sad and scared. That's
Mhm.
my hope, is
Yeah.
that we can infuse play more than all the negative feelings, even though they are part of our life. And it's important to feel these things, but not be overtaken by them.
I
So
One of the things I like to do that helps me stay in tune with my inner child is going to parks, like going to a
Yeah.
theme park, or
Yeah.
maybe go to Chuck E. Cheese or the
Yeah.
arcade. Go somewhere where children are at play, or you can play like a child or near children.
Yeah.
If you have children, play with your children. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And definitely, we will see you next Friday at 1 p.m. And if you want any more support, just reach out. And you can head on over if you're not watched the weird. This is streamed on many platforms.
It is.
So if you're
Also,
watching this from Love
yeah.
Coach Academy, definitely feel free to follow me or Karezza, because we have some of our own cool stuff we post. And if you're following Karezza or Temple Frolic, definitely suggest going and following Love Coach Academy, because
Yeah.
they shows every day of the week and classes and good stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yay! I'm good. I hope everyone has a wonderful, happy weekend and start to your summer. And yeah, we will see you next
Yay.
time.
Yeah. Have an awesome summertime, and there's big holidays coming up. The 4th of July is coming next weekend. A
Oh
lot of
yeah.
barbecues, probably. A lot of people taking time to go on holiday with the families or things
Yeah.
like that. Just wishing everybody an awesome weekend and a great summer.
Yeah. Bye, beauties.
Bye.
Meow, meow, meow.